Hey, I'm Erica. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's start off in a very strong Tadasana, rooting down through both of your feet evenly, forwards and backwards, sides to side, and then take your hands to the rib cage. Let your eyes close or soften your gaze and begin diaphragmatic breathing here, noticing the expansion of your ribs into your fingertips and thumbs, palms. And noticing how the rib cage gently contracts as you exhale. Take about 3 to 5 breaths here, fueling your body with prana, air, with life, and standing strong. As you take this last breath cycle here, really elevate your sternum at the center of the chest. Puff up that chest proudly for this last inhalation. And let it all go. Good. All right, you might take your hands together at Anjali Mudra at the center of the chest and give yourself a few breath cycles to set an intention or dedication for this practice if you would like. We're then going to jump our feet wide, lift the arms up as we inhale. As you exhale, release it all to the floor. Twice more. Interlace your hands above your head. Press the heels of your hands up to the ceiling and straighten the arms if possible. Relax the shoulders down the back. You're going to take 5 windmill motions towards your left, reaching your fingertips as far away from the body as you can. Rotate for 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you come to center, go ahead and reverse the opposite way. If you're a real stickler, go ahead and change the interlace of your fingers too. Last one. As you rise up towards center, you're going to bend your knees in line with your center toes, taking your thighs parallel-ish to the floor, and then bring your hands into Anjali Mudra right at the center of the chest, Stupa or goddess pose. Pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift your weight over into your left foot. Take a side bend with your right leg sweeping along the back. Good. You might hold on to your right wrist. Pull the right wrist over to the left. Press deeply into the right heel. Got it. We're going to take 5 Stupa squats at center before we do that on the other side. Now you're going to go over to your right, sending your left leg behind you. Root the left heel into the floor. Hold on to the left wrist. Guide your body towards your right side. As you come to center, find your Stupa or goddess pose once again. This time we pulse for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, hold. We're going to find a lunge with our right leg forward. So pivot on the ball of your left foot, send your hips towards your right side, and then let your hips dip down and forward. Reach your arms up, palms facing in. Traction your straight arms back. Hold the rib cage and lower belly in. A few breaths here. Shiva squat comes next. Take your hands into Anjali Mudra. Shift your weight into the left foot or right foot and bring your left knee behind you. Squeeze it in tight for 5. Last breath here. Twisted lunge is next. Send your left leg back, ball of the heel to the floor, left hand to the floor or block inside of your front foot, and your right fingertips reach up. A few breaths here. Spiraling your right rib cage back, left rib cage forward. To come out of the pose, you're going to windmill your arms and return to star. Doop, and goddess. 10 more pulses. 8, 6, 4, 2, other side, lunge. Last breath here. Shiva squat is next. Twisted lunge. Star is next. Windmill the arms up, pivot on the feet, take up so much space, and then goddess for 10. 8, 6, 4, 2, warrior 1. Pivot on the heel of your left foot. Turn yourself to the right side of your mat. If that back hip didn't quite make it where you want it, just scoot it in. And we're going to interlace the hands above the head, all but the index finger, Kali Mudra. Last breath here. Then take the hands together behind the back, interlace the fingers and maybe straighten the arms. Find your humble warrior, guiding the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee, dropping your chest towards the mat as much as the body permits. Last breath here. Then twist, taking your left hand down to the floor, adjusting that back foot as needed, and reaching your right fingertips up. Drop your left shoulder, drop your right shoulder into the socket. Last breath. You're gonna hold this twist and just lift up the torso. So root down through both feet, maintain the twist as you lift. Hold for 5, 3, 1, star, goddess. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, warrior 1 to the other side. Find your Kali Mudra. Use that to help ignite your back bend, reaching your index fingers beyond your back foot if possible. Humble warrior is next. Really let the neck and shoulders relax as much as they can, dropping the crown of the head and the knuckles towards the floor overhead. Twist is next. Right hand to the floor, scoot the right foot back if needed. Final breath here before you press into both feet. Lift your twisted lunge upright. 5-second hold. Then we windmill into star. Exhale, goddess. Give yourself a 10-second hold in your goddess pose. No pulsing, no distractions, just stillness, stability. We're going into extended side angle next. So turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Left toes face directly forward. Guide your right elbow to the right knee or thigh. Take that right hand to the block or the floor. Find the variation that serves your body. 3 to 5 breaths here. Last breath in extended side angle. Press into your feet to lift your torso upright. Triangle is next. Scoot your hips to the left, reach to the right. Hover for more of a core challenge, or support your hand anywhere that feels good to really just lean into the stretch. There's no right or wrong here. You are your own practitioner and student and teacher. Find what you need. Last breath here. Then we press evenly into both feet to lift the torso upright and take your hands to your hips. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon is next. So you want to bring that back foot in slightly. So you're walking your left foot forward. Then you're going to take your right fingertips to the block or floor 6 to 8 inches outside of your pinky toe. Shift with control. Fire up your left leg by pressing the heel away from the hip. Really lengthen out that leg. Any arm variations are welcome here. Even floating that right arm off the floor if you want that challenge. Hold here or Chapasana, reaching for your left ankle or foot. Last breath cycle. Then put a slight bend in your standing leg, reach your right toes to the mat, and find star. Sink it into a goddess hold, 10 seconds here. Last breath. Extended side angle with your left knee bent. Find the variation that served you. Mirror reflect. Inhale to lift your torso upright. Triangle, second side. Last breath cycle here. And remember, we press into both legs. This time it's your right leg that's going to come in like just a little bit. Transition into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. If you took the bind, you might find it here and any other fun variations that you've played with. As you exhale, release any bind that you've taken. Reach your right toes for the floor with control. Find your star. And exhale, goddess. This is going to transition us into 10 Skandasana slides on each side. So shift weight into your right knee, and then your left. Your right, and then your left. Sink low in the hips. Take them back if you need to. But keep your chest nice and lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna hold, right knee bent. You might take your arms out in front of you in relaxation mudra. You're welcome to take your hands to the floor or sink down into your Skandasana, letting your left toes point up to the ceiling. Good, last breath in the hold. Then if you lower down, lift up with control, we have 10 Skandasana slides again. 10, 8, I don't know if you've noticed, but this posture or this sequence is a lot of taking up space. Big, bold movements, letting the hips feel open. It's all intentional. 2, 1. Skandasana with the left knee bent. Find the variation you did on side 1. Mirror reflect. Last breath cycle here. And you're going to press evenly into your feet to lift your torso upright. And we're coming next into Mandukasana down on the mat. So you can find a tabletop position with your knees wide. Turn your ankles and toes out and maintain 90-degree bends in the ankles and the knees as you start to sit your hips low. Your pubic bone may or may not touch the floor. Lower your chest with control, aiming to maintain a 90-degree bend in the ankles, knees, and hip creases. Your hips are in line with your knees, ideally. We have about 7 to 10 counts here. Good. Give yourself one more full breath cycle, letting that last exhalation really release the hips down to the floor. And then if you lower the chest, go ahead and place your hands under the shoulders and press your chest upright. We'll all start to walk the knees in. And find a seat with your legs out in front of you. You might face the short edge of the mat, but I'm just going to stay in this direction for now. We're going to bring the left thigh on top of the right thigh, crossing the knees as much as you can. Find Gomukhasana. Press the pinky edges of the feet firmly into the floor, helping to align the ankles and the knees. Then you might stay here. Let's add the arms. You can bring your right arm up, left thumb down, reach for the bind. Press your head back into your forearms to lift the chest and take a few breath cycles here. Last breath. Then start by unwinding the arms, but your legs are just going to shift into fire log. So now your left knee is going to be over your right ankle and vice versa. Keep a nice strong flex, especially in that top leg. You're welcome to stay here upright, encouraging both sit bones evenly to the floor, or forward fold, aiming to take your lowest ribs beyond your shins. So it's not like a forehead to leg situation. You really want to get a lot of length. Take a few breath cycles here, about 3 to 5. Last breath cycle. And use an inhalation to lift your torso upright if you've lowered it. Change the cross of the legs. So now your right thigh is on top, crossed at the knee, Gomukhasana, side 2. Press the sit bones into the floor evenly, squeeze those thighs together. This time it's your left arm up that goes up, right thumb down, bind. If the bind's not a part of your practice, you can hold on to the shirt, reach the fingers in that general direction. Of course, the strap is a great tool to have. Last breath cycle here. Then release the arms with control. We're going to stack the knees and ankles, this time with the right thigh and shin on top. Mirror reflect, side 1. Unless you have a reason not to, so just injury, etc. Good. Give yourself a full breath cycle here. Use that next inhalation to lift the chest up right, and we will all swing our legs towards the short edge of the mat and allow ourselves to set up for Setu Bandhasana or bridge pose. Feet and knees are hip distance apart. We'll let the hands rest down at the side to start. Go ahead and lift your hips just a smidgen. Shimmy your shoulder blades together under you and maybe interlace the fingers. Press the arms into the floor to help lift the hips up and draw your chest towards your chin. A few breath cycles here. Exhale to release. We're now going to cross the right thigh on top of the left thigh. Hold on to the blade edges of your feet. You might work here or take cat pulling its tail, which is something I borrowed from the yin practice. So go ahead and release your outer left thigh to the floor and pull your heel in close to the body. Then roll onto your left hip and extend your right leg towards the left side. So the sole of the foot is facing the left side. You'll straighten your top leg as much as you can and breathe here. Both shoulders stay rooted into the mat. Last breath. Then recross the legs, aligning your hips towards center, and change sides. So this time your right thigh's on top. Hold here with the outer edges of the feet, or drop the outer right thigh to the hip, roll onto the right hip, and send your left leg towards the right. I did not mirror reflect y'all on this side. That's too hard. One more breath cycle. Rebend the knees, align the hips. And here you might choose to repeat a second bridge or come into wheel pose if it is already a part of your practice. We'll take about 5 to 7 breaths in the back bend of your choice. And any other back bend here is permitted as well. Just let it be something you know well and feel good in. I'll dial down the energy a bit, or the effort, I should say. Dial down your effort a bit. Begin to wind down in your back bending work. And I'm going to give 5 to 7-ish breaths here for any inversion that feels good to you. If you are, again, aiming for an inversion that helps to dial your energy down. So maybe not practicing handstand if you're not solid in it just yet, but find the inversion like waterfall perhaps, or shoulder stand, anything that feels good to you to end out the practice on your terms. If you've done anything that's asymmetrical, begin to balance it out. And we'll all start to make our way into our desired shapes for Shavasana. Your desired shape might be classic pose with your heels hip distance apart. Hands on either side of the body, palms up. But if you are called to another variation, please feel empowered to take it. Allow the muscles of the toes and the arches of the feet to relax. Soften the muscles around your ankles and your shins and calves. Relax the muscles of the thighs and the connections to your knees. Soften the glutes, the pelvic floor, the hips. Release tension in the belly and the chest. Relax your hands and your forearms. Relax the shoulders and the sides of the neck. Soften your jaw, your eyelids and eyebrows. And allow your body to be fully supported by the floor beneath you. No effort, no muscular tension. And you might keep your mind on the steadiness of your breath, on stillness. And whenever the mind starts to wander, just guide it back to your breath. Shavasana.